Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Ryan, and today I thought I'd just do a follow-up update because yesterday we was in the midst of misery for a lot of people as the Genesis news came out. I did a whole lot yesterday on the psychology behind trading the news and why news comes out at bottoms like this over here to make people panic sell. For us to only come back up and take liquidity levels that we was looking for. Really yesterday I was outlining the bullish divergence that we were seeing in the market, so it's not really unexpected for us to see this in the market. I did put out a nice little trade setup on my Twitter for this pump up in the market, which I took myself, and I have taken profits now up here for only a short term move. And if you have a look at this, it actually looks like a smiley face, which is how I'm sure everyone is looking today with the market outlook. So let me just dive into a bit of the wave structure now and what we're seeing on the lower time frame. I'm going to cover some altcoins as well because what I'm seeing in some of the altcoins is really promising. So just taking it back 2 days ago, November the 21st, this was the setup that I was really looking for on Bitcoin that I mentioned earlier, with the accumulation setup and a trend line retest looking to come down below the levels, get a bit of manipulation down here, and then shoot to the upside for some expansion to the 16,700 zone. And bringing it back now to current times in the market 2 days later, we did share that setup around here. You can see we got that downside move to the trend line. Bit of manipulation below, expected. It's the third test of the trend line. You always get it on the third test, and then the expansion to the upside. So that really is great to see and a promising sign for that move. And anyone who took that and benefited from that, I really hope you enjoyed that one. It was a good one for me, so I hope it was a good one for you. But on the lower time frame now, after these big candles to the upside, we can expect maybe a bit of a pullback in the short term. I am really seeing a bit of a leading diagonal here, so we could be looking for more upside in the weeks to come. But on the short term, possibly a bit of a pullback. So let's have a look into that right now. Taking us to the even lower time frame here, just so you can get a better idea of the wave structure on the lower time frame. This is the 30-minute chart, and as you can see, it don't really get much better than that for a 5-wave move to the upside. And I'm not saying it's done now because we are getting a bit of a reaction in the market, but often what you will get with leading diagonals like this, if what I'm proposing is correct, is you'll get a bit of a leading diagonal like that. You'll get it to the upside, and as you can see, we broke to the downside, but you will often get a retest back up at the top over around the 17,000 zone. So I'll mark that out because that could be a zone that we're looking for it to come up, and that be the final wave to the upside. With this being a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5, and this is your 4, and then you get your 5th wave up there. So that is a possible idea, but after that we are going to be looking for moves down. So as everyone starts to get excited in the market again today, whereas a few days ago they was really scared with the bad news down here and not looking to enter, people will be looking to enter the market up here. So at that point we need to start watching out for pullbacks, because there is this zone that I've been looking at for quite a while, this breakout zone that I would like to see come filled, and that could be a bigger 1-2 on a higher time frame. So really looking at this setup for the shorter term, but in the long term nothing really has changed. I was just looking to do some lower time frame analysis today, and because we might get this move down and I don't want anyone to be scared again, revisit the lows, take back the liquidity from these areas. That zone that we haven't come back to retest is always going to be there. So I would like to see that filled first before then continuation to the upside. But obviously this is the 30-minute chart, so things can happen quick. So you know, it doesn't have to be a full 2 weekly or 2-week thing. It can happen in a week, in a few days, and then move on. Or if that's not the case, and that is just a simple 1 2 3 4 5 to the upside, and we have a ABC back to the downside like this, I'm proposing that would be the end of wave 5 there, down there for a expanding flat for a ABC. You can see some of the targets that we get down here for the 4.236. That would be a nice zone to look at because that clears all this liquidity down here, but that would imply that we're not actually going to go much lower and fill that area that I marked out earlier. So a couple of possibilities here, but overall the wave structure is looking good. But again, as everyone was scared down here a few days ago, we need to start looking at the psychology behind. If we get that move up, or if we get this move to the downside down here, what are we going to be thinking? Is it going to be expected? And yes, it is, because we've mapped it out well in advance, all the scenarios that we're looking for. How are we going to risk manage during these different scenarios? That's really the key. in the market. I think, as I've mentioned before in previous videos, it don't matter too much if you are right or wrong, because if you're wrong, you want your losses to be minimal, but if you're right, you want your winners to be quite big and substantial, and that really is, in my opinion, the key to the game here. So yeah, look out for both scenarios. Watch out for the pullback if we get it. So in regards to altcoins, there's a lot of altcoins setting up in a similar way, but as you can see the other day on the 19th of November, I was sharing an update for Dash, an old boring altcoin, because I thought there was a really nice setup here for a nice percentage move. So if you just have a look at this, we was at about $35, saw the setup, explained why, have a look there, the weekly RSI trend line break, the weekly bullish divergence, lows taken, looking at a take profit around 55, 85 and 107 for Dash. So I'm just going to switch over now to the Dash chart and we can see where we are in the current times. And as you can see, from the zone that we had marked out, Dash has had a really nice reaction, and this is proving to be quite a manipulative move down, because if we do stable in this range, stabilise within the $40 and $46 zone, up from the $29, $30, around 30 or 40% already, we are looking to have a retest of the trend that I mentioned in my tweet that I put out about Dash, and that would be your first take profit zone. So again, overall the market is looking really good at the minute. So as we are on the lookout now for pullbacks after the pump in the market that we've got, you just want to be taking the swing low to the swing high. If we get the move higher, put the swing high even higher than this and end it where the high is. But really looking at the 618 to the 786, and that is a clear zone where the market would probably like to come back to before making a decision on where we are going to go next. And as you can see, that comes back to the liquidity zone that I mentioned earlier from the breakout level that we haven't retested. So really for me, that is a key area that I'm looking for. But overall in the market, looking for longs, and I think that's going to be the case for the next 3, 4, 5 months, as everyone is still really bearish and the news narrative doesn't really get much worse than it is right now. I think by the time January, February, March comes around and maybe the market's moved up higher, the people that are bears now become bulls and they want to buy, and that really would be an area for us to be looking at taking major profits, because this is again lower time frame stuff. You don't want to be dealing with too much on the lower time frame and complicating it if you don't want to be looking at this. If you're not really interested in the lower time frame, then this video probably really isn't for you, because even myself, I like to stick to the higher time frames because it gives a lot better analysis. But I have covered the higher time frame stuff earlier in the week, last few videos, so just wanted to go into a bit of detail on the lower time frame, say what I'm seeing, outline a couple of possibilities and get everyone prepared for each scenario. And that's the way I want to move forward in this channel, because I think that's the way. There's not enough of that in this space really. I don't think people doing that type of thing. You will get videos saying, oh, Bitcoin's pumped, we're going to the moon after this, and then we'll pull back. Or you'll get the people that make a video, we've dumped, where we're going to go next, I don't know. These are commentators in the market, but you want to be 2 steps ahead and plan for all scenarios. But coming from me, it's not financial advice. Never going to give that because I'm not a financial advisor. But cheers guys, and thanks for watching again. I'll perhaps do a few more of these lower time frame videos if you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments if you do, and I will see you next time. Cheers.